Hour.
Hello and welcome back to the Horror Hour, the show where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. I'm one of your hosts, George, and today I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Liam.
Hi.
Hi. And today we're doing a little non-spoiler summary review of Scare Us. Now, some of you may have seen this already because it is available in certain countries, but it is hitting video on demand, premium video on demand, I should say, sorry, on Monday the 13th of June here in the UK. So on your iTunes, your Amazons, all of those. And so we thought we'd give a little review for all of our UK peeps out there who may not have seen it and may be interested, or even some of you who may not have seen it across the world and thought, actually, maybe I'll check it out. So Scare Us is an anthology movie. So basically it sets itself up as a group of writers who are coming together for a sort of writer's room, if you will. I don't know. They have part of a writer's club at the local library bookstore. And they're all basically, this week's task was to write their own scary, short horror story. And so within that, we enter each of these worlds that that the writers have created. And we find out what's going on, but overall there is something in the real world that's going on that is also quite spooky, and the writers soon find out that they may be a part of what's coming next. Dun, dun, dun. I won't say anymore because they'll give it away. But we're just going to talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and give it a little rating. And yeah, so Liam, let's start with you then. What did you think, like overall thoughts on the film?
It happened. It was there. I watched it.
Not a fan then?
No, not a fan. It was very bland. It was very dreary. Like, this is the poster behind me. This poster has more color than what this movie did. Yeah, it wasn't for me.
No.
Just scare us, bore us. Like,
I didn't mind it per se, but I wasn't watching it and I wasn't saying, oh my God, this is something. It didn't feel new, or, and I really I kind of like anthology movies, obviously stuff like, VHS, ghost stories, scary stories, tell in the dark, things like that, because they kind of give you a little break and it kind of keeps being fresh because it tells these short stories, so you don't feel like you're being saturated by the same thing. But I just felt that some of the stories here, some of them were interesting. I didn't mind. I didn't know what was going on, but I didn't mind the young boy's story, which does feature the crows behind Liam there.
yes.
But some of the acting for me was not the one.
Wooden.
Yeah, and I feel like it ended quite abruptly. Like I feel like there was no. The ending, you don't feel like, oh, okay, you don't feel like leaving going, okay, I understand. Like it just kind of ends, and you kind of like there could have been a little bit more explanation there.
I mean, there wasn't really anything to explain, though, was there?
No, I suppose not. I mean,
the depth wasn't available.
No. I mean, it's a film that I think, isn't, I would say, an easy watch in terms of if you were like, oh, I'm with friends and I want to stick something on, and it's just in the background, then I think that this film is something that you could choose. But I don't know if it's the film for like, I'm looking for the next new horror, amazing project. I don't know if this is the one. A lot of what was done in this film has been done before, and has been done better.
Yeah,
I would say.
Very much so.
But hey, I mean, that's just our opinion. I didn't hate it. There was no hate there on malice. It was just, like you said, it was a little bit boring. I did find myself like clock watching at times, and it is only an hour and a half. So and I rarely do that, especially, like I say, with anthology movies, because you're getting something fresh. But none of the stories gripped me the way, like when we first got the first story. I mean, the acting in that first story by the main person it wasn't great. I was like,
Yeah.
this lady spends the entire time crying. And maybe people would cry in these situations, but maybe not like her. So and from that part, I can that kind of then set up the rest where I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is, you know, what we've got to expect. And some of the anthology stories were better than others, but none of them were like standout. It's not like I say like VHS or Ghost Stories where you'd be like, this story was fantastic. And this, you know, there's and all of the direct, I mean, obviously it's all of the stories are directed by different people, or I think a couple direct one or two of them. But there was no, like, for me, there was no separation in the directing to be like, oh my God, I can tell that these have been directed by different people.
Yeah, no, you couldn't tell. They all had a very similar dowdy feel, I would say. It was just very grey. Like what was presented was just very grey. Like when people complain that they put the yellow filters over anything that's set in like Asian East, not Asian country, sorry, like Eastern countries, like anything Middle Eastern, they're like, let's put a yellow filter over it. I felt like this film just had like a grey filter over it. It was like it was raining, but it wasn't raining because you were indoors.
Yeah, and I think it's difficult to explain without seeing it, and it's not like, you know, Twilight where it's got a blue filter over the first film, because oh my God, that's because I love that filter. But it's very similar to that, but it doesn't help the story. Like Twilight, it works because it's supposed to be, and you kind of get that dark dreariness from it. But with this, it just feels like someone's turned the exposure down, so you're constantly like, and I just feel, yeah, I understand what you mean, but some other people might not. So obviously, you know, if you choose to watch it, you might understand.
I mean, watch it. If you're going to watch it, just watch it.
It's not a bad film. I could think of worse films. I mean, I would rather watch this than Honeycomb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would rather watch this than quite a few of the shite that we've suffered through. But so that it's not getting as bad of a score as what I've given other things, if that helps.
Okay.
I just wouldn't go back to it again.
Yeah.
I got bored, but I don't regret watching it. Like I wasn't entertained, but I wasn't not entertained, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was fine.
Like it passed some time.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was better than sitting alone in the dark. But you know, it's just not a standout for us.
Yeah.
So well, go on then. Give us what would you score it then? What are you gonna score it?
3.5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably give it a 4. There was potential there, and I think it just needed. There was too much going on. I think too much going on and not enough going on, if that makes sense. Like the overarching story, probably didn't need to be there because it was
pointless.
Yeah, it didn't really. I was expecting more. And there isn't. So I would say, look, I would check it out if you just want to see and you're interested in these types of like ghost, like short story films. But it's not like, don't expect to go in and be wowed. Expect to go in and just think, oh, you know, it was all right. It was, you know, it was something. So
look, if this film was available for free as part of a subscription service, I don't think you would
begrudge it.
Be asked. I don't think you would begrudge it. Yeah, I don't think you would. Paying for it, I think you possibly would go.
Yeah, maybe. I know. Well, let us know in the comments below if you have seen this film already. Do let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. If you use a premium video on demand, let us know if you think it was worth it or if you think it should be available on a subscription, like Liam said. And if you haven't watched it and you go and watch it, let us know what you think when you come back. Let us know what you rate it. And we'll see if maybe we're wrong. Well, maybe we're not wrong. Everyone's opinion is subjective.
I'm never subjective.
Wrong. But maybe you know, there's a lot of people out there that this resonates with. And if it does, love it, because everything can't be everyone's cup of tea, unfortunately, and this one just, it wasn't ours.
Exactly. Some people like an Earl Grey,
yeah,
some people like a peppermint.
And I'm an English breakfast kind of guy. So a Yorkshire tea, I must say. But alas, that is the end of our conversation there. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We've got our merch in the description box below. And also you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Horror Hour TV. Do make sure to hit that notification bell on YouTube as well, because we're uploading a lot of stuff at the moment, a lot of reviews, a lot of interviews and things. I don't feel like we say that all the time, but there is always just stuff coming. So it's not on a script where we're like, it's like, no, genuinely, there is stuff coming. We're not making it up. It's not just for the clicks. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.